So I just got back from winter break and I watched a ton of movies. Now, rather than doing an individual review for each and every one of these, which would have taken me forever, I'm just gonna mass them all into this one review. We're gonna talk about each of them pretty quick, so let's get started. Gonna start off with the movies that are currently out in theaters right now. So the first one I saw was Sing. Now, I was dreading this movie. I really didn't want to see it. It looked absolutely terrible from some of the trailers and commercials. And my coworkers decided that they would pay me $5 for me to go and see it. So I decided to see it. It wasn't bad. It was very cliche. Each character follows their own little sort of cliche story arc, and it all ends them up and this one singing competition. But things don't go as planned, and yada yada yada. But it was enjoyable. I did have a good time. The songs are catchy, the animation's very nice. Some of the characters, like the monkey, I really gravitated to him. The others, not as interesting, but still not terrible either. If I were like flipping through the channels and trying to find something to watch, I'd watch it again. Passengers. More of a love story than a sci-fi or anything else. Obviously it's got a ton of sci-fi elements, but there's not very much action or adventure or whatnot. It's mainly a love story between Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. Chris Pratt is awesome. Jennifer Lawrence, she's good at crying, I guess. She definitely shows off her crying skills in this movie. Not a great movie. A lot of issues. But I do think it's a fun date night film if you just want to see something romantic and sci-fi-y. It's not the worst. Assassin's Creed. This movie makes a lot of mistakes. It should be set entirely in the past. It's not. Most of it's in the present. It seems like the future, but I guess it's the present. Fassbender's great in this, I'm not gonna lie. But the movie around him, overall, just a mess. Fences. I had the poster for this, and I wasn't really gonna put it up, but I loved this movie, so it's up, it's right over there. I'm not gonna bother taking it down because that'd be a lot of effort. What I'm trying to say is, it's really good. If I had seen this before I made my best of 2016, it probably would have made the list and just edged my number 10 a little bit off the list. Denzel Washington and Viola Davis give great performances. So do the supporting cast consisting of their children, their friends. It's just a really good movie. And I noticed as I was watching this that it felt like a play, and it turns out it is based on a play. So if you're expecting some fast-paced stuff and a lot of scenery, not gonna get it. Mostly takes place in one house. There's a couple of scenes other places, obviously. But the movie is essentially a play. A really good emotional play. Alright, so moving on to movies that were not in theaters, but that I saw over break. First one, The Imposter. It's a documentary, and I'm not going to tell you too much about it, because I think you should just watch it without knowing very much about it. It's on Netflix. All I'm going to say is, it's one of those documentaries that made me want to get a bulletin board and put all the clues in different places, and just use thumbtacks and just connect the clues and figure out what was going on, because there is so much depth to it, and it's filmed really well too. It's not filmed like a standard documentary. You've got a lot of sequences that are done by actors, and the cinematography is really good, and the story it weaves together is incredible, so definitely should check it out. It's on Netflix. I actually ended up watching it twice because I made my brother and my mom watch it. It's that good. The Revenant, one of my favorite movies from 2015, I watched again, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy, some of the best actors in Hollywood right now. It's just a really intense survival story, and I cannot recommend it enough. Dope. Dope is a movie that I hadn't gotten around to seeing yet, and I decided to watch it, and it was good. It was very interesting. Basically follows these three kids who are basically geeks, and they get involved in a bunch of drug dealing, gunslinging sort of stuff. Had some hilarious moments, and it had a lot of heart. So overall, while not one of my favorite movies, I think it was definitely a hit. Captain America Civil War is on Netflix. I think that was my 4th time watching this movie, and it blows me away every time. It's so good. Each character gets their arc, each story is well developed, each action sequence is amazing. I love Civil War. Transformers, the first one, because the other ones aren't great. I don't mind the third, but this is the best Transformers movie, hands down. It's got some really impressive action, great CGI for that era, and it really holds up well today. Shia LaBeouf is enjoyable in that movie, not gonna lie. Megan Fox is a little bit she's fine in this first one. I don't mind her, to be honest. I mind a little bit the sexualization of her, but that's Michael Bay's fault, director's fault. Overall, a really fun time. I really enjoy watching this movie. The first Spider-Man movie, my favorite, pretty much only due to Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. He's my favorite Spider-Man villain that's been on screen so far. Even though Dane DeHaan is one of my favorite actors, as the Green Goblin, he's nowhere near Willem Dafoe's performance in this movie, and he's just menacing, and he's a great counter to Spider-Man, who, by the way, Tobey is great. The only thing is, it stumbles a little bit when he's in high school. He's not a believable high schooler. These kids look way older, but luckily they don't dwell on that too long, and I guess they're going to go for that element in Spider-Man Homecoming, so hopefully these will be two good companion pieces as great Spider-Man films. Last but certainly not least, The Usual Suspects. Yeah, I should have seen this movie a long time ago. My dad really wanted me to watch it because he loves it, and I could totally see why. Now, the first time I started watching it, I got maybe 30 minutes in, and I was lost. I think I was exhausted, and I was out of it. I was not in the right frame of mind, so I decided to start it completely over, and I loved it. It's fantastic. Bryan Singer does a great job with this movie, and he's directed another favorite movie of mine, Days of Future Past, and this is definitely going to be up there on my favorite movies. It's so good. The characters are great, and all the little twists and turns it takes you on, they're great. It was what I watched over break, so leave a like, subscribe, and share, and as always, steal the show. If you want to watch some other videos, we will have them linked here and here. Well, even me, I guess I'm the only one doing this video. I'll have them linked here and here. Subscribe button right about here, so stay tuned.